Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Codex After Dark. Tonight it is the Slabmania's Slabberfest. I am your host, Tim the Terrible. To the right and or left of me is the slab guy himself, Sal. And down below is the newest member of the Codex station, Rebel Scum.
Rebel
Ladies and
Scum.
gentlemen, welcome to the pay-per-view. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. How you guys?
Wonderful.
Very good, very good.
Excellent. Thanks for
Before,
having me.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's all fun and games from here. No business, all pleasure.
Excellent.
Before we get started with tonight's events, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show polls, we're going to show slabs, we're going to show comics from collections, but we're also going to have two topics tonight. We're going to talk about what makes an issue a key issue, particularly for slabbing, like speculation, what's hot, what's not, and value leading into slabs. Is it worth the money to put into that? And also, we're going to talk about expectations versus reality, what we think it should be versus what we get. But before we get into all of that, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to find us on all the socials. You know what they are: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Discord. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station, and that is where you will find us. We also have a website that is called thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. You can also get merchandise there. And Sal, Sal,
Yes.
you've got polls to show, but
I
do you know where we can get some polls?
I have an excellent place for you. There is this place that you can get pools and do subscriptions and buy online. It's called Heroscornercomics. You can find them on Facebook. They are an excellent group. They're run by great people. You could set up a weekly pool list with them. You can buy things off their site. And if you use the word codex, CODEX, no hyphen, you could save 20% off that order. So go check them out. Heroes Corner Comics. They're one of the best sites to buy from. They have variants. They have back issues. They have special. What's the word I'm looking for? Special. I should have thought about this before I said it, though.
Well, Sal, why don't we let Jamie, who is not
Oh,
here
that's
tonight-
right. We've got a commercial for it. Kick us off.
Yeah, Jamie, why don't you go ahead and tell us what this is all about?
Everyone, if you're anything like me, you love comics, but you also love a good deal. And our friends over at Heroes Corner Comics have just the deal for you. From exclusives to back issues, graded slabs, current issues, and even set up a subscription with them. And all you have to do is use the keyword CODEX at checkout. That's CODEX, and you will save 20% store-wide. So don't miss out.
Don't miss out, ladies and gentlemen.
Exclusives. That's what I was looking for. I just blanked on the word there.
Yeah.
On a side note, he just set up the preview world website.
Yeah.
Set that up, so now it's even easier. You go in and you just click the books that you want, either subscribe to them or like special one-off orders. Let's say that you're a variant of a book that you really like, but you don't want all the variants. You just click the one. Or if you want the book and all the variants, like some people, you can just go ahead and subscribe down the line. So it's amazing.
Guys, it's so easy. All you got to do is go to the website. We'll go ahead and put it
So
down
easy,
in the
even
description
Sal
below.
can do it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But believe me, I still screw it up somehow. Let me tell you something. All right.
Well, Sal, why don't you go ahead and take it away? Show us what you got this week.
Okay. All right. So
Give me
let's
one
start with the
second
stack.
here.
I'm going to. There we go. Hello. There we are.
There
First
you
of all,
are.
First of all, you guys can find me on YouTube at Sal's Comic Corner on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram under the Slab Guy 77. So you
His
can check me
shorts
out there.
are amazing, and his knife work is like no other.
I don't have my knife with me. My knife is in my tool bag because I had to do some knife work earlier today.
I got mine right
We
here.
won't talk about that.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see what you got today.
So let's go. I'm going to start off with this one because this is actually a pretty cool book. This is called Impossible Jones, the Naughty or Nice version.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about that.
So this has a little story. I'm going to give you a little story with this. Dan Kelly, who's also on our After Dark and the Comic Character of the Week show, told me about this. Told me to pick this up. That was a good read, and it actually was. It was a very good read. It was very fun to go through. I was not bored at any point in this book, and the artwork was pretty decent. So in the book that I bought, just so happened that the pages were out of order on a section. And Dan brought it up to me. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of saw that. It looked like it was kind of out of order, but being new to the book, I didn't really want to, say, hey, these look out of order to me. But he went ahead and he tweeted Carl Kessel, who wrote the book. And he's like, yep, there was some that was confirmed that was got a print pages out of it. And he sent another copy that had the correct pages in order and gave us a signature.
Look at that. Nice. So not only did you get a printer error, but you got another copy of the book with signature.
Yep.
Is that going to be CBCS bound by any chance?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. It's a really great condition copy. So
nice,
awesome. And cool. And then Dan lent me the hardcover of Impossible Jones.
Nice.
Look at that.
Volume 1, Grin and Gritty.
That looks.
So great. I have not read this yet, but I'm going to. So. Shout out to Dan. Thank you very much for turning me on to that comic. I'll be definitely checking that out. All right, so let's get on with the major stack. Here we go. So
here we go.
Vanish, which I got to give Dan another shout out because he told me to get this series.
Is that an image?
That is an image book. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Image was also our top company of the year for 2022.
Yeah.
True. And the I'm sorry, the Impossible Jones was a Scout Comics book.
Scout Comics, so, perfect.
All right, so we got John Stewart, Emerald Knight. Try to do the two covers at once.
That looks good.
I love that variant cover. That's a pretty awesome variant
neat?
cover. I got Carnage.
That man, the Carnage variants are killing it. Every one I've seen has been gorgeous.
This is actually the first cover.
Is that an A cover?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
That's an A cover. I think I got the B cover sitting here. I didn't filter them out that well. So I got We Are Demons.
Oh, what issue number?
This is 2 and 3. These are variant issues.
There we go. Story is amazing.
It is. And the artwork is amazing. So
yeah, Capullo,
I'm really digging this one.
Yeah.
So we go on to one of my surprise series of the year for 2022 is Predator.
Yep.
Great series.
I like that. I'm liking that series. I'm one issue behind, but yeah.
Nice. We have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Look at that. All right. Gearing up for the movie that's coming out later this year.
Got a Gold Goblin, Dark Web Gold Goblin.
Ooh.
Which I'm kind of digging this series now.
Is that Red Goblin on the cover or Goblin Queen?
That is. No, it's a Red Goblin. Not going to give it away, but it's not the Goblin Queen herself.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, all right. So you have to read to see where she came from. So we have the Dark Web, number 1.
Wow.
I have Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt.
Look at that. That's great.
This gold cover. It's pretty wicked.
Is that Bagley art?
Is that Bagley? Is that Bagley?
I explained that to Wes today, the whole inside joke with that.
We're going to do a Codex shirt that says, is that Bagley art? We got to have that.
Can't wait.
And I'm also going to suggest knife safety when opening packages. I'm going to push for that. Oh. So we have Amazing Spider-Man, Dark Web, 17.
Look at that. Man, that's good.
Number 16.
Wow.
And number 15. I kind of did these out of order, or backwards order, right, I should say.
Though. That's good. 14. They look good. Wow.
Oh, here's the other Gold Goblins. Number 2. And then we have the variant cover there.
Wow.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
So many goblins.
Lots of goblins. We have DC versus Vampires number 12 of 12.
Oh, the last issue.
Yep.
Man, that story is so
story.
Good.
Yeah, excellent story.
I need to catch up on that. I think I'm at issue 8 right now.
All right. Why is this out of order? But whatever. We're just going to go with it. Batman, number 130.
A or B?
This is an A cover.
Is Zdarsky still writing? I haven't been reading that recently. Not because
Yes,
it's
he is.
bad, but because I just have had too much other things.
Yes, he is.
Nice.
And this has been pretty good. I like that story.
Good.
X-Men Red. I have not read this one yet, but X-Men Red.
Man, Storm looks great on that cover.
Yeah, she does. Right. Here is Carnage number 9, A cover.
Ooh. God almighty.
They have yet to screw up a Carnage cover. I mean,
I know. This is Amazing Spider-Man 1 in 15 or 1 in 25?
That's
1 in
Bagley.
25. Is that Bagley? Yes,
That is.
Bagley.
that does look
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
Bagley. It is Bagley. I picked this one up, Captain Marvel's Symbol of Truth, but it's the demonized version.
Wow.
Okay, saw this Captain America on the shelf. This was a variant cover.
Wes, we
I
don't
think
need to
it's
show
interest-
anything else. Sal's been showing such good books.
Yeah. I
Hold
mean,
on, I'm not done yet.
Oh,
I'm not done yet.
there's more.
Shut up and wait your turn. Batman number 131.
you got yelled at.
Not the first time. Won't be the last.
X-Men number 18, which I have not read yet.
Who is that? Dokken?
This is a Sync, I believe it is.
Another Wolverine-ish character?
Well, he could see syncs with the mutant power is next to him or near him.
So
type
like
of thing.
Morph or Mimic.
Like Morph, but he syncs with their power.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I got this one from Heroes Corner
What's that?
Comics. It's We Eat Gods,
Ooh, wow.
but this has a metal eye or like a metal cover.
Oh, right on.
Very
So,
cool.
I thought that
I
was
like
pretty
that.
cool.
That's pretty.
All right, got Wolverine number 28
Looks great.
and 29.
Nope, Tone, I have no idea who Sync is. I am not in sync with Sync.
I don't know what I'm going to do with them, Tone. I can only do so much. I mean, I'll smack them around for you, okay?
Let me drink
then-
some of Wes's bourbon first, and then I'll be good.
Please
to go.
do. So then my last book is Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7, but it's the alternate cover.
Ah, that's great.
Okay, and that's what I have for my pools. I've got 2 slabs, which I think we are saving for the end.
Yep, save those. So, all right, Sal, that is absolutely wonderful. Love the way that looks. Great pulls for the week. What I got to show isn't pulls. I haven't been getting new books recently, but I've been kind of focusing on older stuff. Wes and I have been talking a lot recently, and he's kind of put the bug in my ear about silver and bronze. So I've been kind of digging around for those, and I got a collection not too long ago, and I want to show off some of the highlights of those books. Okay. So the first 2 are the best in the entire collection, and after I show these 2 books, I don't think I need to show anything else.
But you will.
But I will.
Yes, sir.
But first we have Barbie Fashion.
Look at that.
Okay.
Still in the poly bag.
Still has the pink card with it.
Wow.
This right here, Sal, take a guess how much raw you think this would sell for.
I'll go for 75.
You are very close. $75 to $80.
Almost
raw
nailed it. Wow.
for a Barbie Fashion #1. That blew me away. This book almost got literally tossed aside, and I was like, I better check on that. And let me show you the crown jewel, the Titanic blue sapphire of the entire collection. A Barbie
Ooh.
#1. Still in the cellophane, still with the pink card and all that stuff. Retail, how much do you think this would go for, Sal?
115.
$100 raw.
Oh.
If it grades at a 9.8, we're talking several $100.
Well, that was close on that point.
And Wes, when you looked at this today, what did you think? What do you think?
Oh,
it could
Tone, you
grade
don't
as?
want my picture lottery numbers, Tone. You don't want it.
I've lost chat, by the way. I get some kind of error message. So,
Oh.
but anyways, so when I was looking at the #1, the second book you pulled up there,
This one?
yes, yeah, that it's hard to tell in polybag within a bag and board.
Yep.
But what I did see is very crisp corners, very minor blunting at all.
Very clean.
It's been in a poly bag for 20 something years or 30
Yeah.
years, close to it. So it's going to have that poly bag line in the back probably, but that's pressable. So with a good press, I'm thinking that has a chance. That is a contender for a 9.8. I'd
Nice.
say 9.6 for sure if I
Yeah.
was a betting man. But yeah, man, there were some crisp books, both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Now so ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming to the episode. But anyways, the books I have to show, these are what I think were the true highlights of the collection that I got. It was a collection that I got from a friend of my mom's. He's an older gentleman, and he just didn't have anybody to pass these books along to. And he's getting up there in age. And him and I got to talking, and I threw a price out, and he thought that was very reasonable. And I ended up walking away with over 400 books. Lots of modern stuff, lots of Copper Age, and a couple silver. And I want to show you what the top books that I saw in there were. So I've got it ordered by cover price. So we're going to start in the Golden Age and go from there. So Golden Age, we have Plastic Man number 56.
Love it.
That's
Yep.
cool.
Now the corner down here is all torn apart. It's separated from the cover, from the book itself. But the book, I mean, a Golden Age Plastic Man. This is pre-DC, so I'm very, very happy with that book. I think
That's
this
awesome.
is absolutely wonderful. Next, we're going to move into Silver Age, and we're going to go with the 12 center. This is Daredevil number 25, first appearance of the Leapfrog.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's
This,
nice.
yep, this is now the earliest Daredevil issue I own. Yeah, and I believe Leapfrog was in She-Hulk. Is that right?
That's correct.
There we go. So that's a major key, gentlemen. So keep your eyes out for that. Now we're going to go up to a 15 center, also in the Silver Age, and we are going to go with Incredible Hulk number 123.
Nice.
Not too bad. The only thing that is dissatisfying on this is it has a big cover tear right along here, and that's unfortunate. But other than that, very presentable. The colors really pop.
I love those old Hulk covers, man. They're great.
Yeah, and that's even got the leader on it too.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here you go, Tim. Duct tape.
Perfect. Absolutely. Done. I was going to say if it
solves everything.
If it's painter's tape, I don't want it.
That's right.
Now we're going to move into early bronze, and we have got Champions number 1, first appearance of the team. This
Hercules.
looks wonderful.
Yeah.
It's not in that bad a shape. It's actually pretty good. This is
looks
one.
good.
Yeah, this is one that I'm going to send out with you, Wes, eventually.
Yeah. I think it's good. Yeah.
Next, we have another 25 center. This is a Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts, number 1.
Oh,
yes,
And that's
very
slab
nice.
worthy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, this is getting it. It's very clean. The color on here is very crisp. It's got spine stress and stuff like that, but it's getting put in plastic. That's happening.
Good.
This one was a big surprise to see in there, and I'm really happy that I have it. But if I get it graded, it needs a lot of work. This is a 30 center. This is Black Lightning number 1.
Ooh,
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yep. Also, that was on the back of this was a Black Goliath number 1. I didn't think that was as impressive to show as Black Lightning. So
what was that, like a 70s book?
Yeah, early 70s,
Yeah.
late
Early
60s.
70s, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Mm.
Moving forward, for all you science fiction fans out there, we have a 30-cent reprint. So this is the second printing of Star Wars number 1.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah, can't go
Now-
wrong with this
How can you tell it's a reprint?
because it says reprint right
Right there.
here
Yep.
on the
Very
cover.
good.
Yep.
I
And
can't see that from here.
I think the first printings were 35 centers. Is that right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
the second printings, like right next to Luke Skywalker, it says reprint in big green letters. I don't know if you can see it. No.
No, it doesn't work with your
Yeah.
background.
No.
Okay.
Stupid backgrounds. Moving forward, another 30 center. This one I'm happy to have. I've always wanted one of these. Couldn't afford it for a little while. I know it's not a super expensive book, but when you have to pay more than $20 for one, I think twice. Spectacular Spider-Man #1.
Tarantula.
Yep, first Tarantula.
Yeah, that's a good one to have.
First Spider-Man title outside of Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this was
That's true.
technically his
Yes,
second
never thought of that,
ongoing
yeah.
series. Yep.
Very cool.
Continuing in the same decade, we have 35 center Spider-Woman #1.
Nice.
Yeah, very much so. Very happy to see this one, and it looks very good too.
That book has actually been popping up in a lot of Facebook sales.
Well,
lately.
you've got her debuting in the new Spider-Verse movie.
Right. Right.
Yep. So
Mhm.
so yeah, this one's
Eating
catching
up.
fire right now. Yep. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Next we have some Jack Kirby goodness.
Ooh.
I've had this book before, but not as clean as this one is. We have Machine Man #1.
Nice.
Can't go wrong there. Always good to see some Jack Kirby.
Yep.
This is the one that I think Jamie might fire me for, but I'm willing to take that risk.
He's going to roll the dice, gentlemen.
I'm gonna roll
Roll
a
that dice.
1. Are you ready? This is a 35 center. This is Firestorm #1.
Why would he fire you for that? That's an awesome book.
That's one of his favorite characters, and he
I
doesn't
know.
have it. This is clean. Wes, I want you to take a look at this. This might actually go out in the next group after
Sure.
what I gave you
Yeah.
today.
Absolutely.
But to continue with the Firestorm of books I'm showing, I'm going to show the modern version of Firestorm, the Nuclear
There
Man.
you go.
Yeah, I've got that
is-
one. I don't
Yeah,
have the other one.
yeah, this one's good. Both of them covers
That's
are
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
This next one is a 75 center. We're getting more into the modern age of books now, late Copper Age. This I just thought was cool on cover alone. Iron Man 215.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Centurion armor and the red and gold.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful. Now let's go to the immortal George Perez and the work he did on Wonder Woman. This is Wonder Woman #1.
That's a great
Nice.
book.
So good. Reinventing the character, revitalized her, made her incredibly popular during this time.
Yeah.
Beautiful book to have in anybody's collection.
Yeah.
So when we did Comic Character of the Week, when we did Wonder Woman's debut on that, one of that cover I think was one of my favorite covers.
Oh, dude, I can see why. I mean, this is George Perez at his best.
Yeah.
Right here.
100%.
Amazing.
Yep. Okay. Now we're going to cruise into the 90s.
The 90s.
Yep. And we're going to start it off with the first appearance of Professor Hulk, and that is Incredible Hulk 377.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Very good. Very
Is that
happy.
the first printing? I know they had like 4
I believe
printings
so.
of that, or 5, which is rare for back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I believe this is a first print.
That's all
right.
Don't quote me on that, though. This is the book that I'm going to buy an island with, and I already showed you guys this in the group chat.
Must be a
Darkhawk. Darkhawk.
All hail.
We both said Darkhawk. We both said Darkhawk. That's awesome.
Be jealous all you want to. Call me names. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm rich as a bitch, and I'll see you guys later.
I will find that book in a 9.8. I will do it.
Well, you're looking at it right here.
Really? Okay. I might buy it from you then.
100,000 at the lowest.
Bidding starts at 100K.
Bidding,
man.
Or I'll take organs, children. I
Okay.
need stuff that
You'll
has
take
to
a
be
bottle
done
of whiskey
here.
and be happy with it.
Yeah.
That too. I won't be disappointed. I may not say no. But anyways, moving forward, we're going to go into some Jim Lee X-Men artwork. And
Nice.
we have first appearance of Omega Red.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's
and
good.
we also have, which I think is the better cover, second appearance of
Yep.
Omega Red.
You're not wrong there. That's a
I have that
one
with
of the better
Slab.
covers
That's a
of that
good book.
entire. Yeah.
This right here makes my second copy of this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, but the number 4 I didn't have, and when that book was at its peak, it was going for insane amounts, and there was no way I was going to get something like that. But this one kind of took me for surprise. This is X-Men number 1, so they had the 4 connecting covers, and then the 5th cover that has them all together. Well, some of those were newsstand, and I just so happened to get my hands on the Magneto cover that is newsstand.
Nice.
Is
Yeah.
good. What is the condition on that? Because
Wes, when you look at this, you'll probably say the same thing I do. This has a serious possibility for a 9.6 or a 9.8.
The newsstand of that actually has some very decent money value with that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
As soon as I saw that in there and I saw that barcode, I was like, okay.
Yeah. There's some value there.
That's getting set aside. Now, here's one. This is one of my favorite covers. Just cover alone. We're moving to some McFarlane work now. Spider-Man number 13.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love that cover.
It's an homage to himself.
Yep.
Yeah. Count all the spiders on there. Tell me how many there are.
Well, the show will never end.
Exactly. Then we have, so this
Just
here
Google it.
is the 4th copy that I now own. I'm not hoarding them. I'm not like going after them specifically. They just so happen to be in collections and groups.
Wait, before you reveal it, Sal, what do you think it is? I'm gonna guess Spawn 1. You go.
Oh, if Darkhawk wasn't already shown, I was gonna say Darkhawk, but
I only have one of those, so it's not Darkhawk.
I'll go with Spawn as well.
Well, you both are correct.
Oh, nice.
So this makes copy number 4. Wes, this is the one that I think is the serious contender for a 9.8. Okay. This one here. I've got the other 3 in my Torpedo Comics box.
Sure.
Now we're going to move to more modern for a little bit. This one, when I own 2 copies of this now. One Wes has. But this one, I was very surprised at how much this commands when it's on sale. And that is Futurama number 1.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. So surprisingly, this book goes for about $100 raw. Yeah. And if it grades out really high, it could go for more. Nice. Now I've got 2 more, and then I'll be finished until we get to Slabs. This is iconic George Perez work on its own, and right now I think it's at an affordable price. So if you can get your hands on it, by all means do so if you don't already have it. But Infinity Gauntlet number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't go wrong there. This cover has been homaged so many times.
It's iconic.
That is my all-time favorite cover of all comics of all time. That's my era growing up. Number 1 and number 2. It's just absolutely beautiful.
That's a great top comic to have.
It is.
And to end it, I have so this is my second copy here. Both red, not the black and gold, but Venom Lethal Protector number 1. And this is still very affordable to get. So, guys, if you don't have this, by all means, reach out and get it. Can't go wrong.
Have you guys seen the variant covers of that, like the gold covers and the silver covers and the black ones?
And then I'm
trying to snag one of those gold covers.
The error covers that had like some of the red gone. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, funny thing, for December, the most submitted comic to CBCS was Venom number 1.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was most submitted to CBCS.
Where did you find that information?
On a YouTube channel called Reggie Collects. And
I watch his stuff. Yep.
Love his stuff.
I'm gonna have to check him out.
Got really good insight.
Sal, I will send you a link to his channel after we're done. Definitely worth checking out. Guy is a monster when it comes to slabs and gratings.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Wes, it is your turn, sir. What do
All right.
you have for us
All
today?
right. My stack, you'll notice some similarities, Tim, between mine and yours once I start getting deep into the stack there.
Okay.
So promise I wasn't trying to copycat. I guess just great minds. Great
It
minds, right?
happens. That's right.
I, like you also, I have not been doing a lot of LCS visitation lately. Most of mine have been collections that I have since the last time I was on the show, I guess a month and a half ago or so.
I think so.
I have bought 3 collections, plus some serious trading and wheeling and dealing. And
I hope you show one that you got that we talked about yesterday. I hope that's in your stack.
Well, if I don't, that means I'm a dum-dum, and you'll have to remind me. And more than likely, it's sitting to my left or right. So
fair enough.
So I'll just start out with just some cool stuff that I've picked up along the way. All right. So
Yeah, let's see
I have Dark Knights number 1
Yeah, metal.
through 6.
Holy
Nice.
cow.
Every single one of them are minty fresh.
Great story.
I haven't read it. I plan on it. I kind of don't really want to open these up though, because they're so pretty. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to roll their eyes at what I just said with that, but
they can roll their eyes. Maybe they can see the back of their brain.
Maybe I'll find the trade paperback or maybe find it online to read. But I don't really want to open these. Yeah.
Amazon Prime and put it to your Kindle or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Read that
So
one.
there's that one. Speaking of one of my favorite covers ever to grace the cover of a comic book, I got Dazzler number 1.
Kristen, if you're watching right now, that's she's got the omnibus or the trade for that.
Okay.
Such a good cover. Classic cover.
It's probably top 5 or 6.
Yeah.
It's up there. I just love this cover. One of the collections I bought it probably only had about 100 books in it. The vast majority, minus a few, Iron Man. And I got 3 copies of this, 2 of which were direct and one was a newsstand.
Nice.
Right?
Classic.
I love that.
It had 3 copies of this. 2 were direct and one was a newsstand. This is the nicest as far as condition. It's probably it's every bit of a 9.2, 9.4 as it is. So I love that. As it sits right there, I love that book.
That's wonderful. You said you got 3 copies of that?
3 copies, yeah.
Set one aside for me, please.
Maybe I will.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely. Okay, so to copycat Timothy.
2 of them.
I've got 2 of these now. I picked up, one of them came in that collection I was just talking about, and the other one was part of a trade that I'll touch on later.
Even though the heat on that book has cooled down significantly, it's still an affordable hot key right now.
It is, especially if he's one of the major villains whenever the X-Men do their thing, right? Yep. So yeah, I'm really excited about those. That makes my I have 3 copies of that now. The other one's not very good, but these 2 are in the 9s, 9.4, 9.6 range.
That's great.
This one I'm excited about because it will be going to CGC soon. It is a 9.8 contender, and that of course
Terminus.
Yeah, it is. But this is the first Nebula.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah, first Nebula. I like the cover. I wish it had her on it. It's one of those covers. It's like it's a pretty cool key or first appearance, but it doesn't have her on. It doesn't have that character on the front cover.
First cover appearance,
right? Yeah. So it's like it's a muted key, if that makes sense. It's I think that affects the value a bit, but I don't care. I love the character. I loved her on the movies, and I think she's actually a really important character to the Avengers and other people as well. So that's cool.
Did you notice that painter's tape there, Sal?
I did. I did.
Sal approves.
Yeah, I usually use painter's tape or I get the self-sealing ones.
Yep.
Right.
This one is not in good shape. It's probably a 5.0, maybe a 6 if on a good press. But it's the only copy I own, so I'm happy with it.
God
That came in.
almighty.
That came in. Yeah, that came in that Iron Man collection that I bought.
That
I'm
book
happy with that.
is the cover is super iconic.
Some Miller time there. So
and the story is wonderful too.
Tim, I just happened upon this with a trade, kind of like with you, and that's my second copy of that. The other is the 9.8 that I got from you, Tim.
Funny story. When you and I first met, I think that was in the first deal we ever made.
It absolutely was, and I sent that off, and I got a 9.8, and I'll never sell it. This one here is a 9.8 contender, but it is not quite as good as the one I got from you. So I probably sending it in since I already have the 9.8, but love it.
That's wonderful.
This one came in a trade. I picked up for the first time ever, some slabs. Last time I was on the show, I said I have never bought a slab. The only slabs I own are the ones that I've sent in myself. Until recently, I acquired some slabs. One of those was my second copy of Venom #1, like you got, and it was a 9.8.
Okay.
I traded that for this. This is also now my second copy. This is First Silk.
Yep.
This is a 9.8 contender. I'll be sending that in with our next load.
Okay.
Tim. So hopefully I'll have 2 copies of this in 9.8. I feel like this one has more upside in the long run right now.
I mean, Sony's working on a Silk movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, see, that's news to me, but I already knew that she was going to be. But yeah, so if I can have 2 of these, I've got one in 9.8. This one, if I can get 9.8, I would love to sell that one and, put it back in the kitty, and so I can continue buying these stacks here. This one,
we are seeing lots of gold today, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I've got some cool stuff coming up, guys. I told you, Tim and Sal, I've been busy the last 2 months.
Yes, you have.
And I have been spending way too much money, but it's been fruitful in a good way. So check this out. Tim, you've already seen a picture of this one. This is so I got this right here.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
You stand.
Yes.
This is probably a 9.6 or a 9.8.
God almighty. I hope it gets either one of those.
I would be happy with either one. But it is wonderfully done. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This one,
such an iconic cover too.
Yeah, this one is going to go, and I'll tell you my plan. But yeah, I'm going to get that one graded regardless. But yeah, that one's going also out with the next load.
Okay.
Here's another really cool one that I got with some trade. It's Spawn.
Oh, we've seen a lot of him today. Oh,
Newsstand.
This one is not a 9.8. It's got 2 very small color break spine ticks. So it's probably in the 9.2 range, maybe a 9.4. But it's a beautiful book. I love it. Oddly enough, this was the first Spawn one I ever owned. And then when I bought a couple collections, I have 3. The other 2 are directs, but
we got directs between Sal and I, and you're sitting there boasting a newsstand.
Well, I don't deserve it, but I haven't put in the time like you guys have. But I am happy to own it.
Wow.
This was gotten from the same guy, and I am very happy about this one. And it's the newsstand.
Yep.
Wes, I can't look at this anymore.
This was gotten in a trade. Yeah, a trade. I traded. I'm losing track. This was done in a trade. I can't remember what I gave for him. It was a few slabs, some non-key stuff. The guy just He liked a good cover. So I have a bunch of non-key cover slab stuff with some cool covers, and he's like, and I gave him like 3 or 4 slab books that were non-keys that were, you know, whatever.
Wow.
But yeah, so I got that. This is a 9/8 contender.
Wow.
So I'm
Nice.
happy about
Almighty.
that. Okay. Now we're getting into the older stuff. So don't be too jealous.
Ugh.
Here
Well,
we
I
go.
got that plastic man, so I'll
Yeah,
be
the
all right.
plastic man, that's really cool. That's really cool. Okay, so this is a 25 cent. It's All-Star Comics Super Squad, the first appearance of Power Girl. There she is right there. This is a really cool book. It's I'm beginning to have like a love affair for Power Girl. I mean, and I'll show you later with some other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was so happy with. I paid $100 not for this book, but for this book and the entire run of All-Star
Holy
Comics Super Squad.
smokes.
It was like, not the entire run, like 57 through 78 or 77 or something,
Wow.
but it included all of that anyway. So this, I'm very happy to own this book. I will be sitting that off to get slabbed. It
So
is
would that
probably
be
in the
considered
8.5
like a
range.
would that be considered like a grail for you? To
I
have
wouldn't
her
say
first
grail
appearance?
because I wouldn't say grail. I would say I don't know what I could put on. It's not a grail because I've only recently kind of started to get into DC, so it can't. I don't think I have it. I mean, other
Fair
than
enough.
like the major stuff, but
Right.
man, I'm really happy with it. Really happy with it. Okay, Silver Age. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. All right.
Tim, turn his
So-
camera off now.
Okay. He's gone.
So, Tim, in keeping with your Daredevil tradition,
Uh-oh.
I got
What
another
number?
copy of this.
What number is that?
Nice.
That is number
14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
This is
The titles on those books, If This Be Justice.
if this be they used to, all those Silver Age and Bronze Age stuff used to do that. That was, I love that. This is an 8.5 all day long.
Oh, God
I
almighty.
mean, it's unbelievable.
I got a Spawn
Okay.
number 1 direct edition I can trade for it.
Oh, okay. I'll think about it.
Hey, he thought about it.
This one is probably also an 8.0, and I'm not being silly when I say that.
Ooh. Look
Number
at that.
6,
That cover is minty.
The
Yes.
Fellowship of Fear. I paid I paid $200 for this book and the next book. Yeah, it was just shy of $200 plus shipping. It was like
Wow.
$180 plus shipping.
God,
this
ladies
book-
and gentlemen, we are going through time travel of comic book history here. Right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Number 3.
Wow.
There's some minor ticks here and here and here, and some blunting and yada yada. It's a 70 or 65-year-old book.
Owl.
And there's first out, and there's a little bit of a scuff right here. You can probably see.
Yeah.
But this is probably a 6.0 or a 5.5. If I was a betting man,
so good.
I am
Well,
so
put your money down because I bet it'll get it.
I'm so happy with this one. All these Silver Age stuff that I'm about to show are going off. I've got other cool stuff too. They weren't recent, so I didn't include them. The difference is those would go under economy on CGC. Tim, we've been getting ours back in 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, economy takes about a year.
That's a year.
Yeah.
That's a year. So that it's do I want to say goodbye to these cool things for a year? All right, next.
Yeah.
Avengers number 59, first Yellow Jacket, or Hank Pym is Yellow Jacket.
Oh,
This one is
beautiful 12/7.
probably in the 6.5, 7 range. Not a major key, but it is a key. So that's a really cool book too. I've got a lot of Avengers keys that I've been picking up
Now-
over the last 2 years. So
Let me ask you guys this. Wes, hold that back up. If you don't mind.
Yep.
That guy on the ground, that's Goliath, correct?
yeah, correct.
Okay. Sal, maybe you might know. Wes, you might know. Is that Hawkeye as Goliath? No, because
No.
Hawkeye's
because
on the cover.
Hawkeye's right
Hawkeye's
here.
look at cover.
Okay. Am I wrong in thinking that Hawkeye was Goliath at one point in time?
Yeah, I think you are. I don't think
You know, I'm
Hawkeye
not
was
sure-
ever Goliath.
I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. I don't know where I got that from then. So never mind.
Yeah, but
Audience
again,
members, chime in if you know. But
Please
I'm
do.
pretty certain that Hawkeye was never Goliath.
Okay.
yeah, and up until oh yeah, let me get this one out. All right, House of Mystery, not a
Ooh.
key, but it's a pretty cool book. 12 center. It's number 134.
So Marvel had Tales of Suspense, Journey into Mystery. DC had House of Secrets, House of Mystery, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really cool. I was bidding on a pre-code horror. I can't remember what the title was. And I was like, I'm not spending that kind of money. It's not happening. But so I was hoping to be able to show you guys that, but I did not win it. But this was cool. I paid $13 for this on eBay. So
Not bad.
And the condition is it's a mid-grade. It's a very well presenting book. A little bit of chipping. Not too bad though. I like it.
Nice.
Okay, so up until recently, oh wait, no, last one. I almost forgot this. This is a minor key, and I can't remember what it is. This was in one of those collections.
Creatures on the Loose.
Who was this?
I have no idea.
Key. I can't remember, but anyway, it's cool. It's a cool cover either way.
That's not Conan.
No, let me look it up real quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
Creatures on the Loose number 10. It's
Sal's our resident researcher. He'll find it.
It's somebody, but I'm drawing a complete blank. But
that cover's good though.
No.
That what year did that come out? That's a nice silver.
It's a 15 center, so it's probably 70, 71.
Nice. 71.
Yeah,
and nice. It is a minor key. First appearance of Cole, Kull.
King Cole, yeah. The Coming of King Cole. So it's like I said, a minor key, but it's a really cool. I love the cover.
Okay.
And it's a 7065. So it's a cool little book.
Stan Lee did the story. Larry Lieber and Roy Thomas, Jack Kirby and Bernie Wrightson was on pencils.
Ooh.
Bernie was also the artist, and we got Richard Ayers as inker, Marie Severin as colorist, and let me see, cover penciler was Herb Triumph.
Wow,
awesome!
So
lots of big names on that book.
All right, I'm almost done. I promise, guys. I got 3 more little fellas here. All right, so this was my oldest book up until the ones that I'll show you afterwards. I got Superboy. And I just love that he's getting a spanking. That's why I bought it. Can you read that? Gosh, Ma, I forgot it's impossible to spank Superboy. How can we punish him for being a bad boy? I just love that, so I had to buy it. I bought that from a local. So this was actually bought at a local comic book store here in Knoxville. But I loved the cover, and I had to get it. So this is 1956 or 57. So.
Nice.
That was my oldest comic book up until.
So that's around the same time as that Plastic Man, then,
give or take. Yeah. And then this one is an absolute beauty. This thing is, it's probably an 8.0. Superman number 118.
Oh,
I think that's like 52.
Wow.
1952. The cover is wonderful, guys. It is wonderful.
It looks like it.
I mean, there are almost no spine ticks through here. Everything is attached. Almost no blunting. It's just, oh man,
the death of Superman.
Yeah, the original death of Superman. Yeah,
he didn't die in the 90s. He died in the 50s.
He died in 52. And
it's a cover up.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is the final book. This is the oldest comic book I own.
Okay.
This is 1947, and it is Boy Comics. Wait, let me get it.
Boy.
It is. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's just one of those golden age, interesting, weird, before the Marvel, before DC. It's just great.
That is true golden age right there, guys.
I believe this is October of 1947. And it's let's see. Yeah, it's you can just see him talking the way or speaking the way they spoke back then. It's just really cool. Jeez. I just love that stuff. Yep. October 1947, guys. And this is the oldest comic book.
that Charles Bird on the cover, is that part of the cover, or did somebody write their name on it?
No, that's part. Wait. Yeah, that's
Right in
part
the
of the.
center?
That's
Oh,
part of the
okay.
cover. Yeah, it's
Okay.
part of the cover. Because you can see his name right there as well.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's part of the cover. Yeah, there's no writing on this one. Now there's a little staple issue here, and
Yeah.
but
But I
what you
mean,
would
with a
expect
book
from a
that
70-year-old, 73-year-old book or whatever it is. So, yeah, very happy with that, guys. Thanks for bearing with me there. I know it was a lot of books.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
Good stuff.
So,
Good stuff.
Sal, let's go ahead and keep this diamond gem gold train a rolling. And why don't you show us some of those beautiful slabs you have?
All right, so I've got 2 that I'm going to show tonight,
Hey, I'm
and
excited.
let's see, keeping with the tradition of covers already done.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that Bagley again?
That is Bagley.
It's been remarked by Bagley and signed by Bagley.
Oh, you jerk!
And a 9.
It is a direct edition.
No
It's
fair.
a 9.6.
Beautiful.
So I have a 7.0 CGC plain one, but it's also direct edition.
That's
the
better.
one that's the one I accidentally pulled that one first, but then I realized, oh, this was up on the wall, so you can see the blank spot.
Yeah.
So I pulled this one off the wall to show to you tonight.
That's great.
That's beautiful.
Yep.
What
And
else you got?
all right, you're gonna love this one. This is a variant cover of Green Lantern.
Ooh,
nine.
a 9.8.
Is that the back?
Sal, give us a little bit of history.
Is that
as to
that
why
back feller?
book is so awesome.
Yeah,
Yes, it
so
is.
this is the one where Batman tries on the Green Lantern ring, and he can wield it, but he's refusing to let go of his fear. And Hal's coaching him, trying to get him to let go of his fear.
That would be an issue. That would be a problem for any Green Lantern.
That would be a problem for Batman because that's his sole source of will. That's his sole source of power. There is not creating fear; it's using
money.
the fear. Yeah, that money is using the fear to motivate him to do better, or to save people.
Right.
So that's the whole reason why he's struggling at that point, because you can see it in his face. He's really struggling to wield it, so he can do it, and he almost starts to do it, but then he gives up and lets go and says, "No, I can't do it. I need my fear. It's who I am."
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Great, Sal.
Sounds
Both
like
of
a great
those
read.
books are beautiful.
So, so that actually, this series, I think it's volume 3, I believe, or volume 4.
I think what issue number is that?
It's number 9. It came out in 2006.
So
I want to say
4.
Yeah, it might be 4.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? 06. That's almost 20 years ago.
No.
Yep. That is correct.
17.
And
that's insane.
So I own the full run of that Green Lantern Volume 4.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's a full run on that.
Well, let me go ahead and show you what I got back today.
Exciting. Here we go.
Yeah, so I sent some books off with Wes to go to CGC. This is the second time that I've been able to do that, and very happy with the grades that I got. 2 of them are PC. The one I'm about to show you, I will sell or trade to get more stuff that I want. But we have Superman the Man of Steel number 20. This is the second printing DC Universe logo variant. Sal, what do you think it came back as?
Ooh. What year did it come out? What year did it come
out? This came out
93?
in 93. Yeah, February of 93. I showed you these pictures before they got sent out.
Ah, that's right. I do remember that.
What do you think?
I'm going to go with 9.2.
Okay. Wes and I thought it was an easy 9.6 contender. Came back at a 9.4.
Ooh, so right between us.
Yep. So very, very happy for that.
Still a good grade. Still a good grade.
Very much so. 9.4, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, and we'll go more in depth into this.
And Tim, you looked and you saw the census on that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. So 9.4 is near mint, according to CGC. Just straight right down the line near mint. 9.2 is very fine near mint. And in the CGC census for the second printings, there are less than 10 out there.
Oh my gosh.
Less
10
than 10.
total.
Talk
10
about
total.
rare.
Yep. Less than 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So next I want to show you my the one that I am like the most happy with as far as beautiful cover goes and the grade that it got. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7.
Yes.
Sal, what do you think it came back as?
I'm going to go with 9.6 on this one.
You are right on the money, sir.
Nailed it.
9.6.
Because I remember that one. Remember you showing me that one, and that was
Yep.
very, very clean cover.
It had there down here at his ankle, like right down here. There's this little stress mark that was
Little
able to
higher.
get pressed out. Yeah.
There
Was
you-
able to get pressed out, and I think it helped give it a bump, because without getting that out, I think it would have been a 9.4. But yeah, the cover is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
That's
very
that's a ultimate Perez right there.
Yeah, it
very
is.
happy with that. Now the next one, the
Little Dairy
next
Queen.
one, yeah, I had Dairy Queen burger today. It was good. The next one is a gift I got for my birthday from my invisible friend Nick. This is Uncanny X-Men 266. This is the newsstand version.
Ooh.
So Sal, what do you think it came back as?
Oh, let's
And
see.
it got a press, a clean, and
Ooh.
there was one other thing that was done to it. Wes.
I think they did humidity to it, so but
Yeah.
that's part of the press. But yeah.
Yeah. So those
I'm
three
good.
things were done to it. What do you think?
I'm going with 9.6 on this one as well.
I
Wouldn't that be something?
wish.
Oh,
We'll go with an 8.5. How about that?
oh, wow, I was way off.
Yeah. But Wes, when you and I were
he
talking
led you
about
on.
this,
He led you on a bit with the, and now it had all this work done with
Yeah.
to it. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
but Wes, I
Thanks,
think
Tim.
when you and I were talking about this, I think we were right around there in 8.5 to
Yeah.
a 9.2, somewhere in there.
8.5 to a 9.2, somewhere in
Yep.
that general vicinity.
So that's what I'm sitting at for my 3 CGC books.
And I love that they now indicate on the labels newsstand.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I
But
love
not in
that.
the census. Not
And
in
they
the
don't, but
census,
they
though.
don't in the census. Maybe that's something they will. Well, they can't. Because they can't go back and maybe from here on out somehow they can go. I don't know, but they don't on their
Yeah.
census. But I do like they do it on the slab, so that's kind
Well,
of
let me
If they
take a
have
look
pictures,
here.
if they have pictures of all their books, they could technically go back and do it.
Yeah.
golly,
But they have the manpower of
oh
that.
my gosh,
Yeah.
would be yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a
So,
lot.
Wes, you've got
Ah,
some
yes.
books to show. Why don't
All
you
right.
go ahead and end this portion of the show for us and show us what you've got?
Cool. These are from the same submission that Tim just showed. I am overall pleased.
Content.
I have to force myself to say that, and only because of one book, but the others, I can't. I guess I can't argue.
And that
with
one
that.
book you're mad about is totally understandable.
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say mad, just not disappointed.
Disappointed.
Just I guess disappointed. Yeah, it's kind of like
I'm
it's
not
like,
mad. I'm
it's what your dad used to say. Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Man.
Okay, so here's the first book here. It's no big deal, but I sent it in anyways because I thought it had a 9.8 chance. So it's this right here. Got the 9.6.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book, and I love the story, and I love the character, and all that good stuff. I was hoping for the 9.8, but that's fine. I got the 9.6, whatever.
That's
But
good. That's good.
Yeah, it's whatever. So I'll put that up in my booth to sell, more than likely, and I'll try again for a 9.8 to keep later on. So
I've got a 9.4 of that.
yeah, I saw that.
Nice.
I saw the short, and I watched it, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh, I hope mine comes back, and I can throw it in Sal's face." So,
Oh my
all right,
god.
so
you'll never conquer the Bagley.
No.
yeah, I know. The next one is becoming a thorn in my side because I cannot get the damn 9.8. Now this is the C cover. This is the third number one I have sent off. One was the A cover. It came back a 9.6.
Wow.
This came back a 9.6. It's like, come on, guys. But it's cool to have. Fun fact, I
Great
own
story,
all.
by the way.
Yeah, I own all 7 or 8 issues that have come out. I've been getting them. I've only read the first issue because after I read the first issue, I said, hey, this is really interesting, and I don't want to wait a month. So I'm basically buying them all so I can binge them.
Dude, you're going to love that whole story.
Yeah,
The
and
whole
that's what I
story
keep
is
hearing,
amazing.
and it's so hard for me to not just dig in my box and say, screw it, I'm going to read them. All right, so
Yeah.
there's that.
That is a good story.
9.6, that's the second one of those, so that'll go in my booth. This one I was a little irked at, but it's like, it's whatever because it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. I showed this on one of the last shows as a raw. Here it is.
Ooh,
that.
nice.
The fact
I
that
love
it
it.
came back 9.6, and Tim, we looked at that today together, and
We dove into it.
I am confident that if I were to crack this, there's a 50 shot. I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna crack it and resend it and try to get for a 9.8 on that.
Sal, I looked at that book today at Wes's booth in the antique store that he sells comics at.
Right.
There is not a damn thing wrong with that book.
Has to be something in the inside. Did you do the graders?
That's what we thought.
That's there's no graders notes. It's a 9.6. It's a modern book. Yeah, you know how they are.
Yeah.
Black Flag Comics Virgin variant. So, but beyond all of what we just said, this is one of the coolest Star Wars covers that I think exists.
Yeah.
Now, Sal, I remember you when I showed this, you pulled a couple number ones as well, just the different versions of it.
Yeah.
But you know, this is yeah, it's a beautiful book. I now love it.
It is. It is.
All right, so there goes the. Oh no, here's the one that makes a little silly. Okay, so Silverhawks. It's a 9.6. I was hoping for the 9.8 here. It is a beautiful book. Crisp corners, beautiful, clean. Not a spine break or anything to be seen. Had it pressed, cleaned, all that good stuff.
Well, there's a reason why you sent it out, though. Why don't you tell
sent
everybody?
it out. In the 80s, growing up in the 90s, everybody had their favorite cartoons. These were my guys. Everybody loves the Transformers, the G.I. Joes, Mask, all that stuff. And I did too. But these guys, this was my favorite cartoon. And I only had like 2 seasons. But I had their lunchbox. I think I might have even had their Trapper Keeper. I mean, I loved Silverhawks. I always felt bad for this guy because he can't fly. He has to.
But he's got a cool spaceship.
He's got a cool spaceship, and he shoots stuff out of his guitar. It's really neat.
He's got a cowboy hat, right?
Yeah, and he does.
Okay.
Cool.
I plan on getting all of my favorite 80s cartoons graded in a 9.8 or 9.6 now or better, and having those displayed on my wall. It'll be this one, that Transformers I showed you guys.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for a G.I. Joe. That'll be I've got the G.I. Joe number 1, but one that'll be
going
a contender.
After 21.
What G.I. Joe number 20?
Silent. Yeah, Silent Interlude has Snake Eyes on the cover.
No, I'm just going to get the number 1s. Just the first of the series is.
Fair enough.
That's just it's a OCD thing. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't scoff at that, but so that's my plan. I'm going to get them all of my 80s favorite comics. So this one I want to get Thundercats, G.I. Joe, all that 80s goodness, right? Yeah. So this is the beginning of that. And so by getting a 9.6, this went from a $400 to $450 book to about $120 book. Now that's I'm still happy with it. It's $120. That's great. I'm never going to sell it. I would never have sold the 9.8 either. But man, it was just disappointing. And there is just anyways. So there's that. And I've got 2 more quick ones. Or yeah, 2 more.
You've got more. Never mind.
I had 7. Let's
go ahead and put you back on the spotlight.
So here are my 9.8s. Spider-Man #1 gold.
Gold. Yeah.
Yep. There's that
Nice.
one. Everybody knows that one. Enough said, right?
Yeah, that's great.
So, happy with that.
That's not
Tim is still
Bakelite art,
counting the
that's
spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold that back up. Let me count those spiders real quick.
And this one I was very pleased with. That is the that's the number. Oh, sorry, there we go. That's the number one. I've got the #1 A cover in a 9.6. This one came back 9.8. I was super pumped about that. So that's that's $150, $160, but it doesn't matter because I'm not selling it. So it's
great cover.
But I love that book. I love it. All right. And last but not least, this one isn't a key, but it's part of my love affair I mentioned earlier. And Tim, your daughter would probably love this.
What's that?
And it's a Virgin variant Power Girl.
Oh, nice. That's a beautiful cover.
Check out those tats, man.
The sleeves, dude.
Yeah, and that the Syndicate Virgin variant, and that's Jeff John's story, Mikkel Janin art, Nathan Snerdsy cover, whatever.
Wow.
But it is a beautiful book. I love it.
That's great.
Yeah,
I don't see that book is
so
impossible though, because how could they have tattooed Power Girl? Her skin is super indestructible.
I said the same thing. I was like, isn't she really? Isn't she a Kryptonian? Maybe they had to use a microscopic kryptonite needle or something.
I can't even suspend disbelief.
It's but regardless, it is a beautiful
it's just on the
cover.
costume.
Right.
Even in person, Tim, next time we see
I want to see it. It looks good.
In person, it looks real. I mean, it is just it's amazing. But yeah, those are my slabs and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys letting me show those. I love showing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Wonderful. Sal, you got a visitor?
What's that? Yeah, my dogs are going in and out like crazy.
Kryptonite ink. Midian, absolutely. Kryptonite ink. Has to be.
Yeah, has to be.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sitting through us showing off some good books. I hope you had as much fun as we did showing these things to you. It is definitely a walk down memory lane and a walk through comic book history. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get into some topics of conversation. And what I'd like to start with first, and Sal, I'd like for you to kind of take this off. Let's talk about what makes a comic book a key, especially for slabbing, for grading, either through CGC or CBCS, PGX, or even if you just put it in the encapsulation yourself. Like, think about speculation, especially for modern books or even characters that are rumored or confirmed to be in shows or movies. What's hot, what's not, and is it worth the money to actually send it out to grade? So what are your thoughts on that, Sal?
Let me gather my thoughts. So, okay, let's start with the obvious. Let's just start with the obvious and work our way through that. What is a key? So, a key could be many things. Key is usually first appearance, a death, or maybe a first team up, or something like that, or introduction of somebody new. Okay, there's lots of different variations you could do with this. There's a first cover appearance, there's a cameo appearance, there's the full body appearance, and right away, what comes right off my top of my head, Hulk 180 and Hulk 181, which is the real first appearance of Wolverine.
Right, cameo versus first appearance.
And I agree. I think 180 is the first appearance of Wolverine because he's introduced his name, he's got a full body shot, and he's in the story.
It's a full panel.
He's got dialogue. He's got
So to me, that is the first appearance. Okay, I don't want to digress off the
You can watch the Breaking the Code episode, cameos versus first appearances, for more in-depth conversation on that.
You could do that. So, and then now, a lot of things get originally that were not a key become a key because due to like movie appearances or due to speculation or like another one that comes to mind is Wolverine, his clone Laura Kingsley, X-23.
Oh, yep.
They had her first appearance come out, but then they said no. Way back in X-Men, whatever it was, there was a vial of blood that said vial of blood that said X-23 on it. That's her first appearance. I'm like, no, that doesn't really equate.
Think about that for a second, because like with stuff like that, even though it doesn't make any sense, when it comes down to that, the market kind of dictates at that point what's
unfortunately
considered.
The market dictates it. The
Yeah.
market does dictate it, and there's no control over that.
Yep. And I think that falls in line with speculation a little bit, because that's kind of like a super gray area.
Yeah,
it's a very super gray area. And to throw out an example, Darkhawk #1, you got people that will pay a lot of money for it in a 9.8 grade. Why? Because everybody wants to joke and say, "Oh, I got my Darkhawk.
All hail
I'm
Darkhawk."
retiring.
You're exactly right. That 9.8 is over $200.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everybody says it's worth it, and then all of a sudden
100%.
it becomes worth it.
Well, there's a story behind that. Do you know the story behind?
No, I do not. No.
Darkhawk? So there's
pull back the curtain, Tim, and tell us.
Let me give you a little bit of insight. So I'm going to paraphrase a lot, and I'm not going to probably tell it as accurate as possible. Maybe 50%, 60% tops. But anyways, the way I remember it is there's this Facebook group called Comic Book Collecting, and if you're not in it, it's a good group to go. But you got to have a little bit of thick skin to kind of deal with some of the people that are in there. It is not like Comic Character of the Day, which is really laid back and self plug, shameless plug.
Those guys will
there you go.
Rip you to pieces if you say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's good to just read and check out what all these people are saying. Well, a while back, somebody thought that let me get it out here so I can keep it up for reference. Somebody thought that or it was rumored that Darkhawk was going to be in Guardians 3, right? And this one dude got so caught up in the speculation of that he was buying up as many of the Darkhawk #1s as he could get his hands on.
Right.
And I think at one point he was starting to sell them at astronomical prices.
Yeah.
And he was very certain that it was going to happen. He was very certain that he was going to make millions of dollars on this book alone, and he did not care what anybody had to say. And what a lot of people had to say was making fun of this guy. And now it's a big running joke in comic book collecting. All hail Darkhawk, and people will throw up their pictures. Just got my #1. Gonna go buy an island. Might as well retire now. Yep. That's what. When I got it, I sent the picture to that in our Facebook or Messenger group.
Artificial manufactured key.
Yes, exactly.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
If you look at it, like really realistically, logically, a Darkhawk #1 at best is a minor key. Because he's a C-list, D-list character.
Right.
But it
is a first issue of a new character introduction, which makes it a minor key from the get-go, in my opinion.
And that's exactly correct. He came out during the 90s boom, when Marvel was throwing shit at the wall basically to see what would stick.
Yeah, I mean, just look at him. They couldn't decide what he was. I mean, just look at him.
They didn't know.
He's part Wolverine, part
Iron Man,
Falcon, part Falcon. I mean, he's just like, what is he? Part Punisher.
But I mean, at this time, you had not only Darkhawk, but they brought back Deathlock, a reintroduction of Ghost Rider with Danny Ketch. Punisher was being pushed really heavy at that time. Sleepwalker during that time. Guardians of the Galaxy were getting.
Man, you were nailing it, Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that goes back into what we were talking about, what you just said, Wes. Artificially manufactured key.
Mm-hmm.
People talked about it so much, like you said, Sal, a self-fulfilling prophecy, that they turned it into a major key when it
Right.
has no right to be that, in my
Right.
opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
other.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say. So some other keys are like the return of people.
Yeah.
When they return from the dead or return to a team, those are minor key or can be minor keys as well.
Or like when you said return, that reminds me, like, the first appearance in the Silver Age, like Lois Lane 70. That was like the first Catwoman in the Silver Age. Sorry, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, number 70 or 71 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Catwoman had been in the Golden Age, or prior to that, but that was her first appearance in the Silver Age. So now it's a key. It's a key, I think, because that's actually acquirable. You're not going to find the Golden Age one, and if you do, it's in shreds, and they didn't print things like that that much. So that's an actual acquirable first appearance of that major DC character. There's others that are the same way. First Silver Age, so that's a return, I think. Also,
yeah.
Also, I'm going to touch on a point you just said. I also think print run, because earlier books didn't have the run. I'm not even going to bring in the 90s, the 70s and 80s. Did anything before 1970 didn't have that type of print run. So
well, I mean, they had like a set amount that they would print. If the book sold really well, then it would get a second print.
Yeah, and then the ones that didn't get bought got ripped up and sent back.
Yep, got destroyed. Yep.
Yeah,
and got destroyed. So there's not a lot of them. So there's a scarcity key, you might say, a scarcity factor in rating a key or not. But then you get to the 90s and there's a billion copies of everything.
So here's another thing to add on to that as far as scarcity goes. I think this is a misconception for a lot of people where they talk about direct versus newsstand. In the silver early copper age, newsstand was printed more than direct. Newsstand was where everybody got their books, and less people got their books at local comic shops. So in percentage,
local comic shops really didn't exist in the Silver Age.
No, it was a literal newsstand.
It was a newsstand.
It was a literal newsstand.
Grocery store. It was a newsstand. Yeah.
Very few brick and mortar stores. Yep. So like a lot of those books, a higher percentage of those are newsstand books. But then you get to this cusp, and like you can see where it changes. That direct starts to increase and newsstand starts to decrease, almost to the point of being non-existent. And at that turn is where direct becomes more prominent, because more people are going into comic shops, drugstores, exactly, Mitty, in drugstores. And less people are buying their books at the supermarket, drugstores, newsstands, things like that. So that, I think, goes into like value to grade, what we'll touch on a little bit more, direct and newsstand.
And that goes with the value or the condition as well, because in a newsstand, and I don't know about you guys, but half of the comics I bought when I was a kid were in my grocery store. Not half,
and they were just thrown on the rack,
like 30 or 40%. And what'd you do? You bent them down and you pulled the back one out, maybe you're looking, but as you're bending,
because the first three were already torn apart.
Yeah. But as a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old, I didn't care about condition at the time. I was just wanting to read it, or own it, or whatever. So,
and they got rolled up and traded and tossed.
And that's why, and that's the only reason why that Spawn newsstand is worth more than y'all Spawn direct edition is because there's less of them, but finding a newsstand in good condition, it's just so hard to find. And and that's another, and so that adds to the key of what really amounts to, is Spawn 1 a key? Sure it is. It's a first edition, or but it was printed in the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you
Oh
can
yeah.
find the newsstand that's in good condition, and you're
Yeah.
talking about that's 5% of the population of that book, probably.
Well, like,
as far as
dive
in
into
good condition.
dive into that a little more, because like with those newsstand versions, at that point, what was it, like 1 in every 50 was a newsstand, 1 in every 75
Yeah,
was a newsstand, something
well,
like
like you
that.
said, right? Like in 89 or 87, they converged, and it was about 50-50. And
Yep.
then by 93, it was mostly direct, and newsstand was kind of taking a back seat.
This is at the
Right, there
time
you go.
when newsstand was on the decline. And
Absolutely,
I
it
think
was.
one of the graphs I saw showed that newsstands of this were at 18%
Right.
of the total
And
print
so
run.
that in itself is a huge rarity. And then again, on top of that, having that book in decent shape is even more
Mhm.
rare.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I remember specifically buying books that to this day, if I still had them, or if they're in good condition, they'd be in really good shape. But they were never in good shape for me, because I bought them from Jitney Jungle grocery store where I grew up. It was like,
Yeah.
or the little discount drug place. We did have a comic store in my town, and I did go there, but I worked at the grocery store. So guess what? That's where I bought a lot of
where
my
you get
comic
your
books.
Yeah.
So a lot of them anyway. So
I
those
bought a lot
my books were never in great shape unless
Yeah.
I got them from the comic book store or something like that. So
I bought a lot of my early ones from 7-Eleven.
yeah.
Nice.
So
The spinner racks.
Yeah.
Spinner racks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I just acquired one of those. Not one of the old ones, but just one.
Cool.
So let's bring this in a little bit, and let's talk about we've talked about speculation. We've talked about rise and fall of print runs for direct and newsstand, things like that. And that even goes into like variant covers and things like that, and retailer incentives, if you want to go that far. So it takes us to these next two. One we've kind of talked about, like hot or not. So with books that are hot or not, what makes them monetarily valuable enough to put into encapsulation? Now, from my understanding, if the book isn't fair market value at 30 or more raw, it's not even worth your time. If you're looking for like investment in resale, personal collection, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But investment in resale, from my understanding, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but if raw it's not 30 or more, it's not even worth sending out.
I would
Or
actually
30 or less, it's not.
I disagree with that fully, because I'm sorry, Sal. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
So I mean, okay. So let's say you do have that $30 raw book. So let's say, I don't know, name a random $30 book.
Wonder Woman #1. That's
or X-Men #4, right?
Yep, perfect.
That's $30, but that's definitely worth sitting off to get graded. Now that's also a key, but it's like, so I think a key is what you make it, right? So
that's true. I'll agree with that.
Sometimes a key can be a key to a good amount of people because of a jacked up cover. Because like, oh my God, look how terrible that art is. Like, what was that one with the Captain America? He's standing inside. It looks
Rob
like
Liefeld.
he's got, yeah.
Oh my God.
That,
yeah.
But that is a somewhat
artificially generated key.
That is a somewhat sought after book because it is horrible. The artwork on there is horrible. It's one of the grossest, most ridiculous covers.
How not to
of
draw
a major? Yeah, like how did that make it past the? How did the editor just go, no, go try that again?
Because it was Rob Liefeld. They're like, Rob, this looks great. This
that's
looks
true.
horrible.
And of course, you can't
put it
see
out,
the feet.
and then
but that is that listed as a key on cover price? Of course not. But
Actually, it is.
oh,
Is
is it?
it?
Oh,
I'm
It
gonna-
is.
Maybe it
But
is.
you want to know? But you want to know why? It's the first edition or the first printing, or I'm sorry, first. It's the #1 issue of that Captain America Volume 2.
Okay.
And it's the first
Okay.
appearance of Ricky Barnes.
Okay. Well, there goes that
Okay.
theory. But at
So
the same time,
is that rocket ship chest cover B variant? Is that what that is?
they didn't really have variants much back then.
Yeah, they did.
Not much.
They did.
Let
Not
me take
much,
a
but they
peek.
did have them.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
I've got it brought up right now.
that one, where is that one?
It actually is.
Why don't I have that listed in my
No.
books? I know I have a couple copies of that.
I don't have the. I've got Captain
It's the
America
Heroes
Volume 2
Reborn.
brought up here.
I don't think it's Captain America Volume 2.
Is it
I
Heroes
honestly-
Reborn?
It's Heroes Reborn. Why am I not having that? This is odd.
Well, anyways, continue with your thoughts, Wes, while we
Yeah.
search frantically for this. I think Wes is even looking too, or he's frozen solid.
I think he's frozen.
Okay.
He's really solidly thinking on that one.
Well,
So,
Sal, yeah, you had a train of thought on there. Go ahead with that.
So I'm gonna agree and disagree with Wes on this one.
Mm-hmm.
From a monetary perspective,
Wait a minute. His picture is so perfect because he is super deep in thought on what's going on. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm going to let him know he is frozen.
okay. So from a monetary perspective, you know, this is completely you're selling this book. There's no personal attachment to the book whatsoever. I
Mhm.
really think it's got to be 50 or higher raw. And I say that because
For
the
investment purposes?
for investment purposes.
Got it.
Okay. Because the cost of slabbing alone is going to be 50 to 60. And we're not talking about even the shipping fees back and forth, or even when you sell the book and you've got to ship it to whoever. You're going to try and factor shipping fee into your price, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's got to, for me, I would say 50 or higher for an investment, for at least an investment, you know,
For investment purposes.
purposes. Now, a lot of it, you're rolling the dice when it's speculation, you know, like as you said, like you say, a movie speculation comes out and there's Darkhawk's going to be in this movie. So people roll that dice and try to get the Darkhawks and
Yeah.
and be able to resell it later. And, you know, they came up, you know, snake eyes on that one, but you know, it's
Now-
really,
Now
Talk.
I was watching a video earlier today, doing my armchair research, and here
Yeah.
comes Wes. Here comes Wes.
okay, here he comes. And he's
There
no
we
longer,
go. Sorry about that, guys.
That's
Oh.
okay. That's okay.
I no idea what happened.
Sal just gave his opinion, and he kind of disagreed with you in where you said that a $30 book was worth it.
Was
Sal,
worth
as far
sending
as
off?
as far as investment purposes go, Sal says 50. What do
I
you
say
think about
50.
that?
and I'm thinking because, well, let me fill them in because
Yep.
the cost of slabbing is going to be 50 to 60 alone, and that's not even including any shipping fees. Now, when you sell the book, of course, you're going to try to work your shipping fee into your price, so you're not taking too much of a hit. So if you're selling a book that's $100 book, okay, because I'm trying to sell a couple of books, and I'm like, okay, if I got a $100 book, I'm going to sell it for $115 because that will factor my shipping of $15 or whatever it
Mhm.
is. It might be $1 or $2 more, $1 or $2 less, which is inconsequential, but I'm still getting about the $100 that book was valued at.
Yeah.
Wes, what do you think about that?
So you know, I'll keep bringing it up just because I have it sitting right here in front of me. So let's say, you know, that X-Men #4. I mean, it's not anything special, but it's about a $30 book raw.
Right.
Mhm.
I spend $25 to send it off, and it comes back as a 9.8. You know, that's a $180 book.
That's
You know,
true.
so
That's also true, but
because the
that's
grading,
more than $25. It's more than $25 though.
well, it's $25 per book for CGC plus a little bit of shipping. So, but the shipping is split between 10
But
books.
that's with no press.
Now that's with
or-
no press or clean.
Yeah.
Now, if you add in like the $15 to okay, but you're still doubling your money. Now,
Oh
I'm
no,
not
I
talking,
totally. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that point at all.
now as
I'm
far
just
as like
saying-
long-term investment, I think it's absolutely worth it. But maybe, I mean, but yeah, now there's some that you're going to strike out on, like with that. Well, there's absolutely some books that were less than 50 or less than $30 that I sent off that didn't, because okay, so some of those books that we're talking about here, guys. So some of those, if you don't get the 9.8, you might as well not have sent it in. And that's, Tim, sort of what we were talking about a little bit today.
That falls more in line, I think, with modern books.
That's modern.
Specifically.
Modern.
Yeah.
Now, if you get into the older guys, the bronze, especially the Silver Age, and that's why I've kind of started to focus on Silver Age a little bit, because I believe that the value there is
consistent.
It's consistent for sure, but it's like it's built in. It is absolutely there. And it's there for a reason. And they're never they'll ebb and flow a little bit with the market, of course, but there's always going to be value in that Daredevil #3 that I showed you guys.
Yeah,
there's always.
Well, I mean, them old Neil Adams covers,
all of that
stuff, you get into the Kirbys and the Ditkos and Ronitas.
And that's going to be strictly based because of the age of the book.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, but beyond that, so this, yeah, I can see. Yeah, I'm not trying to argue, but at the same time, I just feel that we're
not arguing.
No, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to just like be devil's advocate. I'm actually, but yeah, I guess you stumped me a little bit there. But
so,
well, look,
there is a point. There is a point where you're right. If the book itself is less than 50 and it's a minor key somehow, and you can't get that 9.8, then it's absolutely not worth sending it in, because it's going to be worth more raw in some cases, like that Barbie of yours, Tim.
Yeah,
that Barbie is raw, $75 to $100 right now.
The Barbie #1, not the Barbie fashion, but the Barbie #1 raw outside of polybag, I think, is 12 to 15.
Right.
But graded, if that sucker hits a 9.8, we're looking at a $200 book.
Right. But if you go exactly, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But what happens if it gets to 9.4?
Then
now you've lost money on your what you spent to get it graded, what you spent to get it pressed and cleaned, and now you've taken it out of that poly bag.
And it's
really. So there is a point to where I mean, it's not worth sending
and
it
see
in.
that's a modern book in every sense of the word. Yeah, and we'll tighten this up with final thoughts on this topic before we go into the next one.
Sure.
So final thoughts on that, like with that Barbie book, that's a modern book, and what we were just saying, if those modern books, early to mid 2000s and forward, if they don't get 9.8s, personal opinion only, I don't think it's worth sending in unless you want it specifically for personal collection.
Of course.
If you're looking to resale or try and
or if it's a major key.
Exactly.
Or if you're trying to gain your New Mutants 98.
Yeah.
I'll take a 9.4 that all day long.
Kind of investment return on those books,
right.
You're going to be waiting a long time.
I have a question for you guys real quick, and before you, because I'll forget.
Well, why don't you use this time as your question and final thoughts on this particular topic?
Do you guys think that this is a key?
No.
Do you know what it is?
It's a minor. It's a minor.
Do you know what it
is?
Number
*1 issue.
It's Ice Cream Man, right?
It's the Return of Mark Hamill. It was that special
Jack
thing,
in the Box.
That Jack in the Box special thing they sent out, right?
Yeah.
Is it a key issue?
I don't think so. I don't know anything about it.
I'd probably put it as a minor.
It's only a minor key because everybody wants it or wanted it. And because it was put out by Jack in the Box.
So they created,
and because it was an extremely limited supply of it.
They created demand for it then.
Because of that, this book, when it first was coming out, man, people were paying $150, $200 for this thing. I waited and I spent like 12. But, and,
Patience.
Yeah, I said I'm not. No, I mean I wanted it because everybody wanted it. I wanted it, but I wasn't going to spend $150 on this, especially when I learned how they were shipping these things. They came in crinkled, but it is now a semi minor key because of the limited supply. Because everybody wanted it, and by God, if you get it in good condition, it's probably worth money because mine is all jacked up.
Yeah,
because they were just rolling them and throwing it in there. They don't care. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. It is also kind of what you make of it. If it's important if it's an important book to you, it's a key to you. That's not what cover price and that's not what CLZ cares about. But if anything, and if it's an important book in any kind of way, that makes it a minor key. And that's an important book only because people want it or wanted it. And so it's different, guys. And I know we're harping, but it's just one of those things. I mean, I own it. I don't know why I own it. I haven't even read it, but I wanted it because everybody else wanted it. I wanted to hop on the bandwagon, and now, but I paid $12 instead of 112
because you have the patience. Because you have the patience,
and I also didn't
You're
have
a collector.
money at the time.
Yeah, that's true. Real collectors have patience. I mean,
don't buy in the heat of the moment.
You don't never buy in the heat of the moment, and I've been guilty of that and gotten burned on the flip side because I've
100%.
paid over fair market value for books that dropped in value.
Who here thought House of
he froze again.
He froze again.
Freezing. God, I love that.
There we go. There he is. He's back. Is he back? Nope.
Who bought like 5 copies of every variant? This guy did. And who lost his ass sending about 3 or 4 of those off to get graded? This guy, right?
Also that guy.
So. Yeah.
Well, let's go into this then. That's a perfect segue into the last topic of conversation, and we can take about 10 minutes to talk about this before we end the show because we're running up on 2 hours.
Good Lord, how'd that happen?
I know.
All those books we were showing.
But
when each of us has a short box to show, now you got a 2-hour show.
Well, let's talk about expectations versus reality. And this topic really came along because of the books that you got back, Wes, especially that Mandalorian and that Silverhawks. So expectations versus reality. And nearly every time we talk about slabs, Sal, you and I have talked about this before. We've talked about this with Tone, with Jamie, everybody. And Wes, I think even the first time when you were on, when it was us 3 together, we even talked on this too.
Yeah, we did.
I think it was disappointments at that time, but now it's expectations versus reality. So what we think the book could grade out as versus what it actually does. And Wes, you and I, when we're going through my small stack that I want to send out, we go through everything. We'll look at it all. I'll give you reasons why I think it should go. You'll ask me questions on why I want it to go, and you'll start pointing out things that I didn't see, or you'll start pointing at other books and saying, well, I do this, I do this, I do this.
Yeah.
And every time we look at these books, we always, before you and I part ways for the day, we're always like, well, what do you think it's going to come back as? What do you think this is going to be? And we do that. And I think every time we've done that, I've only been correct once. And then like with the Spider-Man #1, I did not think that would get a 9.8 at all.
I didn't either. I got that one wrong. I'm glad I was wrong.
Yep. I think when you and I looked at that, I think we said 9.2, 9.4.
Right.
And that came at a 9.8. The Uncanny 266, I think we were right near the money on that.
I think 8590 was kind of where we were thinking.
We were looking at that. We didn't think it would get any higher than a 9. But that Crisis #7, that one, we looked at it and graded lower, and it came back way higher.
Yeah.
And that also leads me into a YouTube channel I was watching today. I don't know who it was. I can't remember, but he was talking about books that him and his brother were looking at. And this guy was like a big investment collector kind of thing. And I noticed when he was going
Comic
through
book
all
investments.
that might be, I don't know.
Is that the guy that has the big Spider-Man sitting right next to
Yeah.
him? Whenever, yeah.
Yeah,
Comic book
okay.
investments. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was watching him, and I noticed that as he was going through all the slabs that he was showing, every slab for the grade it has, he said, yeah, we thought it was going to come back as this. He was either 0.5 above or below on everything
Yeah.
that him and his brother were for certain it was going to come back as. So he was wrong on every book that he had.
He's
And I
right
wanna
a lot,
talk-
though, a lot of the time.
Well, I only watched like 3 episodes of his
Yeah.
50 rarest Spawn books, and then the slabs he got,
Oh, cool.
and
Yeah.
one other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that. And Wes, you go ahead and take a couple minutes to give us your thoughts on that. So expectations versus reality. When we look at books, why do we get so set on what we think it could be versus what it actually comes back at least in CGC's form, from 3 separate graders?
I think, number one, people forget to look on the inside of the book. I know I do. People forget to look at the back of the book. I don't say forget to, but they neglect with the moderns. Maybe not the silver, but they forget that the back and the interior is just as important as that cover. I have been guilty of that. Now, with those 2 that we mentioned before, I looked that thing front and back, out and in, everything from what I thought. But and it boils down to, just like we've said before, it is a human being on the other end of that is sitting at that cubicle, at that desk, at that
clean room,
that grading station.
Grading station. It's a human, and it's you. I have to convince myself, or I have to remind myself, that these people aren't robots. It's not a computer image. It's not artificial intelligence doing this. This is a person like you guys and me sitting there, and he could be having a great day or bad day. But people say that a lot. But these people are also professionals, and they should be able to leave that stuff at the house.
Yeah.
And
professional
I think
athletes have bad days,
and they do.
Yeah.
And I have to believe that most of them are able to set aside the fact that they didn't get laid last night, or
leave your problems at the door,
or their wife is texting some whatever, something's going on at the house, or his teenage daughter is pissing him off, or
not
whatever.
cleaning her damn room.
I have to believe that they are able to leave that at home.
Yeah.
And because I choose to trust these grading companies, as hard as it may be sometimes, when I pull that Silverhawk out and I knew, please God, let it be a 1. You know what? The fact that it came back a 9.6 did not surprise me. It disappointed me. The other one, the Mandalorian one, surprised me. And there have been many that I've sent off. I've sent over 100 books now, over 100 books. And I have been, what the heck, at least 24 times. Now, I've been pleasantly surprised at least 24 times. So it's one of those things where if I expect a 9.8, I'm setting myself up for failure. I'm starting to learn that.
Right.
If I expect something to come back a 9.4 or 9.6, I kind of don't send it anymore, because I'm kind of becoming, with the modern stuff, a 9 snob. With the modern stuff. Now, if it's a major key, bring it at a 9.2 all day, please. I'll take it. But if it's something like that Mandalorian, it's not a key.
Yeah.
It's not like the first appearance of anybody, not really. I wanted that 9.8 because
let's go really fast and make it sound horrible.
Yeah, was that your house or his? Where was that?
That was out in front of mine.
That was on Illinois Avenue.
Some ingrate driving around at 1 o'clock in the morning being loud.
And that brings me back to the point of, that book, because it's not a key, it needed to be a 9.8 to make it worth my time. Or to make it worth the investment. That wasn't an investment book for me. That's one of my favorite covers ever to grace a comic book, or Star Wars comic book. That's why I sent that. Now, and I'll finish up here. So, expectation versus reality. That's right. Is that where we're? So the reality of it is, is I have chosen to be in the CGC, CBC, the grading world. And because I have chosen to do that, I also have to accept that every now and then that human being on the other end of the line is going to see things different than me. I have not been to any kind of professional training. I don't know what CGC will forgive and what they won't. We can all speculate. We can watch all the YouTube videos on the planet and wonder. We can read all the grading manuals there are, but what it boils down to is we simply can't expect that. Now, if you go into it expecting a 9.8 and you get one, man, that's great. You did a good job. Congratulations. You guessed correctly.
Yeah.
If it's a 9.6, maybe it was a 9.6, or maybe it's a 9.8. I'm going to find out with that Mandalorian, and I'm going to let you guys know. I promise. That'll be the first one I ever crack, only because that is the only one I have ever gotten back where I'm like, there have been times that was a 9.8, but deep in my head, I'm like, well, maybe that's what caused it. This one here, I thought I had a chance at a 9.9. That's how beautiful that book is. So I'll be sending that sucker back. But I'm rambling now, but that's kind of where I stand with it. I choose to believe in the grading process. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
That's what it boils down to, though, is you put your trust in them. Ultimately, what you think it could be doesn't necessarily matter, because
unfortunately,
the end result is
fortunately, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Sal, go ahead and throw your thoughts into the ring.
Okay, so I got to agree with a couple of points. It's the human factor at the other end that is going to be the final judgment on your book. From an investment, purely investment speculation for anything modern, you got to have 9.8s, or it's not, worth it, financially.
Yeah.
There's maybe a few books here and there that a 9.6 will be, still worth more than what you spent to get it, graded, but not always the case.
That's long-term investment, though.
Also true. Anything pre-1970, I'll accept any grade that it's got. I've got some very old Green Lantern books I would love to send off. I know they're ratty as hell, but I'm still thinking I should do it and just send them off, because I don't expect any high grades for anything pre-1970. Boom.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And I'll, like you guys said, put the trust in their professionals that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I had one example of mine is I had a 9.8 Slab Spider-Man book, not signed, and the opportunity came to get it signed. It was a J. Scott Campbell cover book. Came back after it got signed. Came back as a 9.6.
Oh, took a hit.
Punch in the gut.
Took a hit. So what happened? Did it get manhandled? Did it get manhandled in somewhere in the process, or did J. Scott Campbell go like this to the book? Sign it like that, you don't know, and because they don't really document this thing, and that's why I really feel that the grader notes should be available for every book that they grade, everything, and they could say, hey, page 23 had a mark on it, minus point whatever, or what have you. Now, I did a video on my channel about what to look for in a book when you actually want to, if you're thinking about sending off a grading, whether it be investment or personal, to check it out from front to back. And a lot of people do miss the back or don't think about the back. So I go through it. I damaged a book in a certain way.
It was a modern Inhumans book, right?
Yeah, I believe it was. It was. It was a dollar bin. So I bought like 4 of them to destroy in a certain way. So one of the things that a lot of people also don't look for or don't want to take into account is the stapling. Look at the staples, not only at the front, but go to the middle, where the middle of the book, where you can see the inside of the staple. Take a look there as well, because it does a lot of damage as well, and a lot of people maybe miss that, and that's also a big deal.
Those graders spend a lot of time on the inside of your book.
Right.
Indentations from the staples onto the pages.
Or if the staple is not completely closed, it will actually tear the paper inside.
Yeah.
Wes,
Okay.
maybe that might be why that got a 9.6.
That's very true. Full disclosure, I did not open that book, and I did that because I didn't want to open the book. I wanted it to be as pristine as. So there is a full possibility that I missed something on some page somewhere. There 100% is.
You know, and I look at it this way.
We're gonna find out,
like you said. Yeah, but we're not professionals in this matter. So even if I look through the book and I thought, oh yeah, this is a 9.8 all the way, and it comes back as a 9.0.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. Okay, so I guess this went completely wrong. You know.
And like I said, the only reason I'm not making a stink. The only reason I'm the only reason I'm even considering resubmitting this one is because this is the only time I could actually be honest with myself, and I was like, "What the heck?" But if we don't trust the graders, then what are we even doing here? Why are we even sending books in the first place?
Well,
we have to trust it.
That brings me to a final bit here, and unless you guys got anything else you want to add,
I feel like I interrupted Sal, and I apologize for that.
No.
So
that's okay. I'm good.
Well, I'll leave this as the final thought then. But
just send me your Darkhawk and everything will be fine.
Perfect. Done. Angry comments toward graders. We have all seen it.
Yeah.
And some of these people on these groups in Facebook or on Reddit, Discord, wherever, they get extremely hateful at these guys and girls that are grading these books to the point to where it's like unhealthy. Like, why are you this mad? Why was your expectation so high, and why were you so sure it was going to get that? And then when the reality comes, you instantly turn to this type of vicious hatefulness that's coming out of your mouth. Why is it like that? I don't understand that. I mean, I understand getting mad and getting upset and saying things and things like that, but I mean, it goes right down to what you guys said. It's the human factor, you know.
Well, they a lot of times they get treated like, you know, a referee in a football game that misses a call.
The most hated players in the NFL,
are the zebras, right? The ones that wear those striped shirts. But you know, sometimes they miss calls, but sometimes they get some of them right. You're like, how did they even see that? That was a good call. So it's, you know.
Yeah. So
remember they have a very different perspective on viewing a book. Period.
They do.
They've got a very different perspective. So
they do. They really do.
Well,
100%.
I think that is a perfect place to call this awesome Slabmania Slabberfest to an end. This pay-per-view that was absolutely free was slabtastic, slabberific. Yes, it was a slabberknockle.
And we are the guys from Slabstinia.
Slabkazakhstan. There you go. The country of slabs. Sal is the mayor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, Sal, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you outside of your awesomeness on the Codex station? You have other awesomeness on YouTube. What would that be?
Thank you. I'm on YouTube as Sal's Comic Corner and on Instagram under the Slab Guy 77.
There you go. Perfect. And Wes, once again, welcome to the group. Welcome to the club. There are dues that are paid every month in the form of whatever is in that glass bottle. So
or an old X-Men book. That's fine too.
Darkhawk #1 will keep you in Jamie's good graces for a while.
Yep.
Nice.
Either way, welcome.
Definitely.
It is
Appreciate
nothing but super fun and awesomeness from here forward. And what you and Sal are going to have cooking up in the pot here soon is going to be worth the wait.
Yep.
Yeah. I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know where to find us. You know what to do. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station on all your favorite social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Discord, anywhere, everywhere. The Codex Station. Or if you don't want to do that, you can go to our awesome website, thecodexstation.com, where you can get links to all those socials. Slabberoonie, absolutely Midian, a Slabberoonie. Put a slab on
he
that
watched
slab.
this entire show. Thank
Sure
you,
did.
sir.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Yep.
He's awesome.
two
Yeah.
hours. Well done.
There you go. You stuck through the whole thing. But yeah, the codexstation.com, you can get merchandise, stickers that Jamie loves so much, t-shirts, all kinds of wonderful stuff. And also, before we get out of here, Sal, one more time, where can people go to save 20%?
Yes. You want to go to the place, a store called Heroes Corner Comics. They are an excellent website. They have back issues. They've got slabs. They've got special incentives. They even do pull lists, and they have they use the Preview World's website now, so you can actually just go through and click off the issues that you want to get. If you actually order something from the website, use the code codex CODEX with no hyphen and save 20% off that order. But they are great people. They package their books very well, and they're great to communicate with. Highly recommend them.
Absolutely. We use them. You need to as well. So go ahead and support awesomeness both here and there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim. This beautiful guy over here is Sal the Slab Guy. Down below is the ever awesome and amazing Wes Rebel Scum. This is Codex After Dark. We are the Codex Station, and we will see you next time.